Hello again, kids. So let's go with our last lesson for today. This is going to be about intonation of nouns and verbs and corresponds to the vocabulary and pronunciation lesson from Unit 6, page 52 of our student's book. Alright, and here it is. Well, the first part and the basis for this is just here at instruction number 1. Where it says, listen and repeat these words, first as nouns and then as verbs. How does the word stress change? Well, so here we have a box with 16 different words that can have different meanings. One very important thing for this whole lesson, guys, is that you need to have a dictionary or a good translator in order to look for the definitions of these words depending if they are classified as nouns or verbs, or also as adjectives in the next exercises. Okay, so if we go here to the presentation, I have classified the same vocabulary. But we have two ways of pronouncing these words. The first one is export or export. Next, import or import. Next, decrease or decrease. Increase or increase, which are antonyms, by the way. Progress or progress. Record or record. Next pair. Refund, refund. Produce, produce. Permit or permit. Transport or transport. Insult, insult. Protest or protest. And well, as you may have noticed, here we have like the two different intonations. And the key is just here. Wait, is just here. With nouns, the stress is on the first syllable. So from all the previous words that we mentioned before, if we put the stress on the first syllable, we are talking about a noun, a thing. Now, with verbs, and also for adjectives, the stress is on the second syllable. So if you hear something like protest or insult, we are talking about a verb or an adjective. So with this classification being made, we can continue with the next exercises. Well, we're going to practice the intonation for them, and I'm going to be asking you about the intonation for these words through Skype. And then in exercise number 3, we need to complete the sentences with one of the words in its correct form. Read the sentences aloud. Actually, we're going to need to use the same vocabulary to complete the sentences, depending on the context and depending if we need a noun or a verb. So if you want, we can do the number 1 together as an example. It says, Scotland, blank space, a lot of its food from other countries. Its, blank space, includes oil, beef, and whiskey. In this case, the correct answer or answers are Scotland imports, because it's a verb, a lot of its food from other countries. Its exports, because this is a noun, includes oil, beef, and whiskey. So you need to continue doing the same with the rest of the sentences using the corresponding word. And we're going to check, of course, the intonation of these words depending of their function in the sentence, if they are nouns or if they are verbs. Now, in the activity number 4, what we need to do is something very similar, but now we're going to include adjectives. It says, these words have different meanings according to the stress. Check the meaning, part of the speech, and the pronunciation in your dictionary. Don't forget your dictionaries. Listen and repeat. And once again, we have the classification: refuse, refuse, present, percent, minute, minute, desert, desert, content, content, object, object, invalid, invalid, contract, and contract. We're going to practice saying the words in exercise 4 in Skype as well. And okay, using this vocabulary that we just checked at the point number 4, which you can take around 5 minutes to look for the definitions in your dictionaries, we can go to activity number 6 then, where you need to answer the questions using the words in exercise 4. You need to answer, for example, what's another name for a dustman? Number 2, what's a UFO? Number 3, what's the Sahara? Number 4, what do you get lots of on your birthday? Number 5, what are pages 2 to 5 of this book? Number 6, what's another way of saying happy? A written agreement? Incorrect, for example, a PIN number, very small, or to say you won't do something. So remember using the vocabulary that we have here, and also depending if we are talking about a noun, a verb, or an adjective. Okay, so you can take around 10 minutes to solve this activity number 6. And well, the last part of this lesson is about a class debate. We're going to work in teams, actually the same teams that you get into for the final presentation. And we're going to be talking about studying a restaurant. We're going to, for example, remember and identify some of the most popular restaurants around where we live and what makes them successful. Then we're going to be discussing in small groups like a strategic plan in order to start a business, a restaurant business. And a representative from each team is going to present like the plan that you have designed. And actually, we're going to also be discussing the activity number 4 of an eventual difficult situation for a business. So all this debate is going to be a very good practice for the final presentations. And of course, I am just here if you have any doubt, any question about any exercise. So thanks a lot for your attention, and remember that we stay in constant communication at our WhatsApp group and at Skype call. So thank you and see you soon.